So, welcome to Lessons from the Woodlot podcast. We are live today from my home in Burlington, Iowa, where also our podcast studio is. Today is a really, really exciting day for me personally. One of my oldest friends in this world, the guy, the man behind the myth, the often imitated, never duplicated, the one and only Captain Ed Dwyer, who taught me how to hunt for yellowfin tuna on the other side of the Gulf Stream in Florida. He's made a lot of my posts really exciting. I've killed a lot of big tuna following Ed's tips and tactics. For several years as a banker, I took all of Ed's, any cancellation, anybody that I just told Candy, and I said, man, anyone cancels, I want in, I want to learn. And if you're starting to kind of see a pattern occur, it's that Mr. Radcliffe may not be the best person at a lot of things, but what I love to do is find the man behind the myth, find the person that's best at doing what they do and learn from them. And I learned from Captain Ed Dwyer for years, and then just happened to be, I was putting up a post and Candy reached out like, dude, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm in Burlington, Iowa. And they're like, bro, we're an hour from you. And I'm like, you're what? Like, come on, no way. So I said, man, we got to get together. And we were real fortunate. The timing worked out. And the four of us had dinner. Mark went with us. And we sat there and we got to talk about the moon, about deer hunting and all these things, because, it's a big thing Mark and I will talk about, as a fisherman, fish are driven by tides and things. And so we had this really awesome conversation about wahoo fishing, and you better be watching the moon to know the tide, because you got 2 good hours and then it's gone. But in deer hunting, it's much more controlled by weather fronts, and we're going to have Ed here today just kind of talking about his experience and some of the things that he's been through with Mark coming out to the farm. And just so happens, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a big ass set of deer horns right there, and it's a big one. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mark. Mark's going to do the interview today, and thank you for listening. Remember, like and subscribe on YouTube, winafarm.com. Go on there, like and subscribe. You're automatically entered. No hokiness, no bullshit. You don't have to pay us to try to win a farm. It ain't a raffle ticket. Like and subscribe, follow us, and enjoy today's lesson. Mark, take it away.
Yes, sir. Well, as you stated, you introduced us, it had been not quite a year ago, 9 months, maybe,
about
something
9 months.
like
probably
that.
About 9 months.
And Tim has alluded to this, that Ed's quite the fisherman, kind of that guy that knows how to get on fish, and that's awesome, because Lord knows that, as bad as I hate to say it, I could care less about fishing at all, freshwater fish, in any way at all, but I absolutely am enthralled with sea fishing. So it kind of worked out, and Tim introduced us, and we was at Martini's uptown, and that was our introductions, and all of that played out, and Ed and I kind of hit it off, and I'm like, hey, bud, now I don't know if you're interested or not, but I'd come down if we trade some fishing, baby. And he's like, hey, I'm all about that. So I met up with Candy and Ed and down there at their farm, and from here I'll kind of let you take it off.
Yeah.
And then I might have some questions for you as you go.
Absolutely.
But by all means, introduce yourself. And let us know.
So 2017, we bought our farm up here in Missouri, and we just fell in love with the place. It's the whole difference in Florida. It's more low key and everything. And I love deer hunting. I've been fishing for over 40 years full time. I've been a sport fishing captain full time, and I've done many fishing seminars over my years, lots of them. And we have a tournament that we run every year, the Other Side Invitational, that's going over 30 years now. We've got a tournament in the Bahamas that we do, Baker's Bay Invitational, and I fish all these Bahamas billfish tournaments, and they're competitive, and all I can say is 2025 has been really, really good to me. I won the biggest tournament that I've been after for a long time, which is the Custom Boat Shootout, and it's the biggest tournament in the Bahamas, and I came in first place, and I
think I seen a big ass check there, Ed.
There was a big check.
There was a big check on that thing in a billboard. It was
It was pretty cool.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
And so, and then hunting has been in my blood forever. And so we came up here and bought the farm, And we've had this farm for, like I said, 8 years, and it was 20 acres, and we have a cabin on it. And there was a 60-acre piece behind me, and there was guys leasing it, and I killed a 163 on the 20 acres, which was my biggest deer to date, till Mark and Tim came along. So,
Hint.
so anyway,
hey, can I interrupt? I'm sorry. Ed informed me today the score now is officially 21 to 1 to none to 0. So
I'm glad you threw that in there because I wasn't going to rub that in a little bit. See, I got the invite to come over.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be in the river. So, okay, so it is 21 to 1 to 0.
Yes, sir.
Point. And so we'll get into that in a second. So anyway, so again, met Mark at Martini's. Tim said, "Come on over, meet Mark. He's a whitetail expert." And Kenny and I came up here and we just enjoyed our farm and like, okay, we've got 17 acres of tillable. Well, I'm fast forward here. So end up a 233-inch deer gets killed behind my house on the 60 acres. Now this thing was massive. And back to where these guys are going with this podcast, it's all about bringing hunting back fun. Not hiding, not telling people the wrong information. And so this deer was killed behind my house by some guys that leases the 60 acres. The guy that was leasing the property to these guys, and I knew these guys personally, because they pulled in my driveway. Hey, go, I'm going to go hunt. We're going to hunt back here today. You've been seeing anything, Ed? Yeah, look, here's my trail. Look at this. I killed this 160 something. Oh, that's awesome, Well, they end up killing this deer, which I did not have on camera, 233 class deer, and they hit it. They were like trying to say, and you can't hide a 233 for long. Okay, so next thing you know, the game warden, hey, Ed, you 233 killed behind your house. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, no, they said they didn't kill anything back there today. No, they killed it behind your house, 233. Well, they're trying to hide it, so I didn't know about it. Well, guess what happens? I'm buying that piece of property. I do own the 60 acres.
Amazing how that works.
Guess what? You don't play the right game, I'm going to buy, they would have been cool. It would have been a different story. But guess what? Now I own the 60 acres. So now I've got 80 acres, okay? And Mark kind of says, okay, we're going to come out and check this place out. So we get out there, we got 17 acres of tillable. And I've had tree stands all around my property. I've got, 15 tree stands all around in the woods, on the north side, different winds, playing the wind, X, Y, Z. And at the end of the day, it was like, we came up here from Florida. We would come up here, we'd only have a certain amount of time here. And it's like, okay, where are we going to go today? We're going to go over here outside of the south. Okay, let's go over here and sit in this stand. Well, not realizing that, first of all, we're trying to utilize the time we're here, but at the same time, we're trying to okay, we want to hunt. We got some nice deer on camera, but we're not killing them. We're seeing them because we're seeing them on the other side of the field on this scrape in binoculars. Okay, there he is. Oh, we've got him on camera. Well, we're just not killing these deer that we're seeing, and then the neighbors kill them, or we just never see them again. And, and it's kind of like, man, it's frustrating. And we were hunting pretty much every day that we had our time here in Missouri. And it kind of got to a grind. And so, anyway, here we go. Now we're at Martini's. And I'm sitting at the dinner table, and I am ribeye steak. Ribeye steak to me is like, maybe Tim catching a 200-pound yellowfin, Mark killing a 230-pound booner. I live and die for ribeye steak. So they're like, dude, you got to get the ribeye. The best ribeye. I'm like, yeah, ribeye. Baked potato, loaded, whatever. So I'm sitting there, and been with Tim before. The first time I meet Mark, his son Hunter's there. I'm like, okay. So we get these, we get served our steaks. And I take 3 bites, and Mark's just sitting next to me, and he starts drilling me about whitetails. So, and I'm just like, really? You know, and another bite of steak, and next thing you know, like, hey, do you hunt the moon? Oh yeah, I hunt the moon all the time. What do you mean, moon? Yeah, the moon. Well, meanwhile, his son's over there, hadn't said a word. He looks at me and he goes, Ed, it's all crap. What do you mean? He goes, yeah. He goes, and I go, not in the fishing world, dude. I go, dude, it's tides, the moon. You got to go on the moon pulling the tide. I mean, it's doing something. And he goes, no. He goes, nothing. Don't believe in the moon. So now he's got my attention because I know Mark's record. 21. So,
0 over here.
Anyway, back
still.
to the 0 thing. 21. 1, 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
That one in.
All right, so I'm like, okay, so the moon, and then we start talking about how he lays the farm out and this and that. Next thing you know, Mark's at my farm. And again, I have a farm, I have 80 acres I own. I have a 40-acre piece next to it, and that I lease. And he's like, okay, he walks on my farm, and I have 17 acres of tillable, which is income. And he's like, what did you buy this place for? And this was the main question, changed everything for us. I'm like, for deer hunting, for coming up here and enjoying this place and enjoying these people here in Missouri. And it's just low key, and I love it here, but deer hunting. And he's like, okay, well, no more tillable. He goes, are you making any? I go, yeah, crop sharing, maybe $2,500 a year, my best year. Oh, he goes, dude, so is that worth that or killing a big deer? I'm like, no, I don't. It's definitely worth killing it. Let's kill a big deer. Okay, no more tillable. So now we designed a farm. And this was, 9 months ago?
Yeah, it's like March or April.
Yeah, like April. Mm-hmm. So we're on year 1 on this plan.
Yeah.
Not even into a year.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we now, Mark says you need to put a blind here. Where's all your tree stands? Don't even worry about any of those tree stands anymore. We're going to put a box right here. We're going to put a fence. I'm like, a fence, and like everybody thinks fence, I'm like, no, this fence, he goes, the deer can jump over, and I'm like, yeah, I see them jump. They jump over the fence from the neighbors all the time coming into here. He said, but they're going to go to the path of least resistance. I'm like, all right, let's go with it, And then we're going to take 4 acres of my tillable, and we're going to put switchgrass. You're going to plant switchgrass here, and it's going to be your ingress and egress to your stand. Okay? And I'm like, and deer aren't going to go in it. We don't want deer to go in this. I'm like, whoa. So Candy had a little hard time with that. She's like, okay, well, we're just going to waste this whole field for ingress and egress. Yeah, we're going to. And we're going to cut a trail right through the middle of it. And that's what we did. So now we have this beautiful trail going to the back of this blind, perfect for any northeast, northwest winds. And 50 yards across, I have another fence that goes to the north. I have a 3.5 acre clover field to my east, and I have 7 acres of corn this year, beans next year to the west. But about 100-yard pond right in front of the blind and right in the gap. And so I'm like, okay, are these deer going to go through this gap? That was the big question of the whole thing, and I put a lot of work in this year. I mean, 9 months, came up here, put the fence up, planted the switchgrass, got the farmer to put the corn in a specific spot, and I'm like, okay, this is going to work. The clover, frost seeded the clover after that March snow, believe it or not. I was here for that. A little bit of snow on the ground, which was awesome, frost seeding clover. You see everywhere it went, and I'm telling you, it looks like a golf course. Probably the prettiest clover field I've ever seen, and I'm not being biased. It is awesome. So I've got that all set up. So fast forward to the season, I start getting pictures of this really nice split G2 10 point. And I'm like, man, that's a good buck. Next thing you know, he's with this giant, and they're buddies. And then they leave, and I have pictures of them actually jumping the fence going into the neighbor. I don't have no more pictures after that. And I'm like, okay, they're gone. And then next thing you know, I get a random picture of either this bigger deer or the G2, which was Candy ended up killing, 161 inch G2 10 point. So I'm like, okay, they're back. And then all of a sudden, no more pictures. Velvet's gone. Everything's coming hard-horned. And then I'm like, okay. All of a sudden, here he comes. The G2 starts going through the gap. I have 2 cameras, cell cameras, on that gap. Next thing you know, here they are. Here he is. Not the big one. I'm like, what happened to him? We're not seeing him. We're not seeing him. Oh well, that's a nice deer. He's 100. I know he's right there at 160. I'm like, okay, that's a target. He's definitely on the hit list. And so now waiting for that day, the magic September 15th in Missouri. We're all waiting for the opener, you know. And so I booked some tickets to fly up here from Florida, and it's getting closer to September 15th, and it's just, we're looking at the weather, and it's 90, 80, hadn't rained in over 30 days, just brutal dryness. And I'm like, well, we got a week. I got a week up here. I'm going to come up, fly up here for a week, and then we're going to drive up here the following 3 weeks later for our normal fall season. And Candy looks and goes, you know what? Why are you even going there? It's going to be hot. She goes, wait till next week. There's a front coming in on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, which would have been the 22nd, 23rd of September. And I'm like, okay, but I said our anniversary's on the 25th. She goes, she goes, you know what? The time you put in up there and what you've done up on the farm, you deserve to go up there on that first front. That's a good wife.
That's a good woman right there. That's a good woman.
So I'm like, great. So she books me the tickets instead of Monday. She does it Friday to Friday. So
Can I digress just one time? I'm sorry. I hate to interject, but after our consult, just a little while, I had a phone call. I think I had a text. Maybe it was either a text or a phone call from Candy, and she's like, "Hey, I'd like to get Ed one of these blinds." And for birthday, was it a birthday?
Yes, it was.
I think. And so we set up that whole deal with kind of sort of without your knowledge, you know, and then that blind got set where? Is that in the gap? Is that the
That's
one in the
one.
gap? Okay.
That is the one in the gap.
So all of us, the chronological order, this is all playing out.
That's true.
Kind of neat. So she grabbed one of the blinds that we had recommended or whatever.
The whitetail group on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And so that was what was in place. Your screening was up good. Everything was in play. And now it is the 15th opening day, something we've been waiting on.
Waiting on.
Totally. And then the weather is wrong. Now, why did Candy say, because you had said something earlier about the fact that you guys used to grind every day, you know, why did Candy say to wait? What do you think?
Well, she looked at the weather and it's like, it's going to be warm. It's going to be hot.
But in the past, you had hunted during that.
Oh, we would have been. Yeah, we would have been there and hunted it anyway.
But Candy was taking notes when I was there.
Candy's taking notes, and Candy's taking notes from Mr. Mark Luster. All right, watch for the magic X. You know, watch for the temperature to drop, the barometer to rise, and so there was none of that on that first week of opener. You know. And so we're like, she's like, let's go ahead and we'll book the ticket, but you know, you really should wait. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So instead of Monday to Monday on Allegiant, we went Friday to Friday, the following Friday. So I'm like, great. And so again, Tuesday, Wednesday was like 22nd, 23rd-ish. We're like, okay, that's when the front was coming. So I get here, I fly up here on Friday. I land at like 12 o'clock Cedar Rapids. I drive down to the farm. I jump on my tractor, okay, which we can talk about that, but I jump on my tractor and access the back of my property, go and pull some cards that aren't cell cards, and I pull some of my cards in the back of the property, and I mow some of the corn
Yep.
to the west of the gap. And then I'm like, okay, I'm all set up now for Tuesday and Wednesday. Let everything just chill out. You know? So Saturday morning, I wake up and it's raining. I'm like, whoa.
That's awesome. First time in 30
First
plus.
time in 30 plus days it's rained, you know? Excited. I'm like, wow. And then it's raining and I'm looking at the radar and it's growing and it's growing and now it's pouring and it's like torrential, like all day long. And I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm just hanging out in the house by myself. What am I going to do today? You know, all right, you know. And then I just glance at the wind and it's supposed to shift, shift to the northeast by noon with that unpredicted front. It wasn't, they weren't calling that for that at all. Ends up 3 inches.
And
3 inches on my gauge.
Now, had you noticed or broke down something? I mean, you seem excited about a north wind. Why is that?
So, yeah, exactly. So the north wind, we have, again, the split-browed 10 going through the gap. 10 o'clock at night, 3 o'clock in the morning. Lots of pictures. He's comfortable with the gap. Going through there, I'm like, dude, this is awesome. And numerous other bucks and does firing through there. And I'm like, well, that's great, but he's not daylighting. All of a sudden, I'm going to say like the beginning of September, like the 10th, something like that, it was the north wind. There he is, 6:30.
Right through the gap.
Right in the gap. Daylight. First daylight picture we have of him, other than in velvet. Now he's hard horn, and I have a picture of him. I'm like, wow, cool. And then 6-7 days later, another north wind picture. And he's daylight. So I'm like, okay. And it's cooler with the north wind. Obviously, we have a front. So I'm like,
So you're clearly watching the winds.
I'm
and seeing
watching the
when he's coming
wind
through there
and
during daylight.
100%. And he's daylighting it on a north wind. He's not in the temperature warm up. We have a south, southeast, southwest wind. I've got plenty of pictures, but they're all at night, you know, in the middle of the night. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait till that front weather for a north wind. So again, it was supposed to be the 22nd, 23rd. I get there Friday. I pull my camera cards. I go back to the house Friday night. Again, I've seen this 10 point numerous times on camera, but I've never seen the guy that was with him, the biggin. Only in velvet. And I don't even know if he's living on my property anymore. So then I'm like, okay, what am I going to do here? I'm going after this 10 point. He's a 160-inch buck. You know, I'm gonna. Candy's like, kill that buck. I'm like, great. I'm going in to kill him.
Changed.
Change
I'm
up.
like, okay, I'm going after the big boy. All right. So then, the next day, again, the pouring rain, everything's going down. It's just torrential, and I keep looking at weather underground. It's going to stop at 5 o'clock. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go in the back of my property. I have another blind up closer to the woods to the house so that I can observe the whole field. I'm just going to observe back there and see what I see. And that's when I looked and I saw that north wind forecast, and I texted my wife. I said, I'm going in. I'm going in to sit in the first sit in that blind that we put up. Never been in it yet. I'm going to go sit for the first time in that blind tonight.
First time ever with the farm manipulated.
Ever. With the farm manipulated less than a year ago.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm doing it. Lightning, pouring rain. I take my bow, I put it inside a garbage bag. I put on the best rain gear I had, boots, the whole 9 yards. I'm completely saturated by the time, like with the rain gear. I mean, I'm talking about nasty lightning stuff, and really bad. I get to the blind, I undo everything, get my bow out, and I'm sitting there and it's cracking lightning around me and everything, and I'm just like, man, I don't even know what I was thinking, you know, and I'm looking and it's like 5:30 is supposed to stop. Okay, great. Then 5 o'clock comes around, I look, 6 o'clock now, and it's just building around me, and I'm thinking, I'm going to be sitting in this blind till dark on my first sit, awesome, and not see nothing, and there's nothing obviously in the field. 6 o'clock, complete stopped rain at 3.5 acres of clover. And now, back up a second. Mark had told me, he says, look, when you get rain and you got green, They're coming. So that was another thing I had in my mind. I'm going to go here. It's a lot of rain. Again, we haven't had rain in over 30 days. 3 inches. And so I'm like, okay, we got 3 inches of rain. I'm going back here. Next thing you know, I have 40 deer in that clover field.
On video.
40. And they're not under me yet.
Yeah.
They're
on video. You were videoing this too, right?
Yeah. And I've got, I've got all the windows closed, the rain's covered on the, everything's wet. And I'm looking out here and 40 deer funnel into this clover. And I'm like, wow. Well, that's cool, but they're, 50, 100, 150 yards away, They're all out there. All these different bucks, small bucks, decent sized bucks. And then, in the very back, here comes a split-browed 10. Whoa, there he is. I text Candy. I'm like, dude, he's coming. He's out back. He's there. He's there, and I got another hour of daylight yet. And guess what's right behind him? The man.
The man.
I looked and I saw that deer, and this is the first time on the hoof that I've had a physical other than pictures looking at this buck. And I'm thinking, that is 100% the deer I'm going after. I'm going to be persistent and patient. I am not going to shoot that 10 point. So here they come. Every deer, Mark, every single deer in that clover plot went through that gap, either to the water or to the corn. Feathered through. Didn't jump the fence behind me. Didn't jump the fence to the north of me. Every one of them went through the gap. And I'm thinking, man, this is the real deal.
This might actually work.
This could actually go down. And here he comes. Here comes the 10 points. The G210. He's rolling and he's coming. And he's marching across the field. But Big Boy's standing back. And he's in the middle of the clover field and he's just watching all this go down. I'm looking out the window and literally I have 20 deer below me on the water and in the corn right here. That 10 point comes in. He sits underneath my blind at 20 yards for 5 minutes. I'm videoing it with my phone.
That's a 160-inch deer.
160-inch deer, and I'm thinking, now, and I'm looking and I'm like, I do not have this big buck on camera in this gap. He's probably not going to, I'm like, is he going to come here? Is he like, there's no way I'm going to go in front of that blind through that gap. But he's looking at the wad of deer that have just feathered through this gap. And I'm like, man, should I shoot this deer? I could kill this deer right now, no problem. This G2 buck, I can kill him. He's right here. I'm like looking at him like, man, that thing's nice. Look at the mass. And I look up, and here he comes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is really going to happen. Now, I'm like, okay, I'm by myself. I have to open the window. I don't want to spook these guys that are right here, but I have to be really quick here. So I just sat there, and now, again, I had no time to shake, and I know this is the biggest deer I'm going to kill in my life. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever kill one bigger than that, but I mean, I know for sure it's definitely the biggest deer I've killed to date. And here he's coming, and and I'm just watching horns. I'm not going to look at the horns no more. All right, so I'm just going to look at the gap in the window right here. I got the vertical window, and I've got my hand on it, and I'm ready. And I'm thinking, as soon as I see his nose, I'm opening. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden, here comes the nose, and I open up, and he stops 24 yards. Fire. And all I see is a lighted knock, leave, and I hear it hit him, and he runs into the woods. And I'm like, did that just happen? Did I hit him good? I don't know yet. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know, but it felt good. And he runs into the woods, and I'm like, oh my God. And I close the window, and literally, all the deer are still there. They're just kind of looking around like, what happened, you know? I got another 45 minutes now before it gets dark. So I'm like, all right, I text Candy. I'm like, dude, I think I got it. She goes, which one? I go, the big one. I shot the big one. I shot him. I go, I think I made a good hit. And I'm like,
Pretty certain I got that same text.
Yeah.
I just smashed
Mark. I think I texted you when he was in the field. I said, he's out. I did. My deer's in the field. He's like, well, really? I'm like, all right, yep. Well, text me. I got him, Mark. And he's like, okay, well, now what? I'm like, I'm going to wait till it gets dark, So I wait, and it gets dark, and I go back to the house. I go down to get out, nothing. Bust me, nothing. Nobody blows. I get out. I out the back end, and get to the house. I call Candy. I said, dude, I got him. I said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to get the Ranger. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go get him. I'm going to go, look for blood. She goes, I'm looking at the radar. It's fixing to pour.
Now I'm in a hurry.
I'm like, what? And as literally as I said that, Mark, I hear ding, 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 and it just completely torrential downpour.
Oh man.
I'm like, I gotta go. Nope. Grab the first flashlights I can do, open the garage, grab the Ranger, and I zing back there, and as I get to the field, it stops pouring, but probably good 5-10 minutes of torrential, and I'm thinking, I hope I hit this deer good. And I get to the arrow, light a knock, sitting in the dirt, and it's wet blood on it. And I'm like, oh, that's good. And then I knew where he went in, which was about 20 yards for the wood line. And I followed a little bit of blood on the ground, and when I got to the edge of the woods, dude, it was just covered up on the high stuff. And I've got a thermal monocular, which to me is awesome. I mean, for recovery. And I got inside that wood line, and I went click, 25 yards, and I'm in front of me, and I can just see he was wrapped around a tree, and there he was. And I'm just like, I took one more step. Is he going to move? One more step. Is he going to move? He didn't move. And I'm like, oh my God, there he is. And I walked up on him, dude, and I looked down at this deer. Again, many pictures of him in velvet, one picture of him hardhorn. That's all I have.
Wow.
And then he went through that gap, and the rest is history, dude.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Show us.
And dude, I mean, 189 and a quarter. I mean, the biggest deer, 16 points. I mean, just a beautiful.
Pretty daggum amazing deer. Now,
kind of pointing them towards that. I'm thinking that way.
I mean,
that's your money shot.
Yeah.
What's that? Candy's. I want to finish this story.
Oh yeah. So I mean, this deer, obviously, I mean, a whitetail dream for me to kill a deer, especially on your own farm, and just an absolute toad. And like I said, many pictures of velvet, where you always like looking at the velvet pictures. Man, is he gonna be, when he loses his velvet, is he gonna be a good one? When he stepped out in the back of that field, I'm like,
you had no questions.
He's a good one.
He's a good one.
And so the buck that was with, Candy just ended up killing, was this G210 that I've been talking about. That was his buddy all summer long. And I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful buck. And again, we drove up here from Florida, sat one evening, and on a north wind, and I really feel like he would have killed him, and a coyote ruined our whole hunt right an hour before dark. Came in and just blew everything out of the field.
Yep.
The next evening, we fortunately still had that north wind. Down 3 sits, 2 shooters down.
A 189 and a
189 and 161.
189, 161, and 3 sits.
And 3 sits. I mean, just and to me, Mark, it's like, it's one of those things that it's like, and people like, what are you doing? What did you do, Ed? What did you do different? Well, one, I met you, obviously, but I mean, to implement that gap to your farm and not even having the access, like a lot of people, like I don't have access to get into my stand. Well, I don't really even have that access, but we made it.
Correct.
We made it. We made that access with switchgrass, and you can do it with corn. I mean, and just cut a trail right to the back of your blind and put where the deer you don't want them to be, and just make that gap in the middle, and they all used it. And like you said, and I do have some spots where I think they've jumped the fence, and you can tell where they did it. But now, and I'm not even a year into this thing, every single deer goes through that gap.
Yeah. It's amazing how well it works. And again, we're talking about a regular fence that anything can jump.
Yes.
It's just they're like us. It's like when I was 18, I'd jump right out of the back of the truck. But as I'm 51, I'm going to step down the steps. I'm going to find the easiest way to make that happen. And that's essentially what they're doing. They can jump the fence if they want. It's not too tall for them to jump.
Right.
But they're just not going to do that once they figure out that, hey, I can walk through this gap and not have to jump.
Totally.
And it's a natural thing for them to gravitate to.
And I'm noticing now too, I put a scrape tree there, and they're
annihilating it.
Pounding it. And another thing, like you told me, and you covered it in other podcasts. Ed, go around and cut all your scrape trees down. How many scrape? Do you have other? Oh, dude, I got some killer ones in the back. And he goes, well, cut them all down.
Cut them down.
Cut them down. And I'm like, that's hard to do. I mean, that's where I get my pictures. Not no more. I get all my pictures in one spot.
Right where they count.
Here's two of them, right here.
Right where they count. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just like, it's amazing what that, over the years, like I said, so here's another thing that we've come to realize. Again, we come from Florida, and a lot of people from out of state, and they have property up in wherever it may be, Illinois, Montana, wherever it may be, and you only have so much time. And so when we come up here, we would spend that time hunting. Like we're gonna go here tonight, it's a south wind. We're gonna go here tonight, it's a west wind. We're gonna hunt, and it gets almost to be grueling to the point where we're not killing the deer we want to kill. And sometimes you okay, you know what? I'm gonna kill one because I've got 25 days in here and I haven't shot nothing yet. Okay, to where now, knowing that what I know and be able to apply that, go when he tells you to go. Wait till you have the right wind. Let your trail camera show you the wind and look at the history to tell you when to go. And it's a game changer. Now we're enjoying, obviously we're tagged out here in Missouri with our till gun season starts. And now we're enjoying the farm more, and not having that pressure of we got to go hunting, we got to go hunting, we got to go, and then realize that we were burning the spot to the ground.
Push them to the neighbor.
Not only burning yourself out, but you was burning the spot out.
Correct.
So the more you did it, the less opportunity you had to actually be successful.
Yes.
You was actually shooting yourself in the foot without understanding that that's what you was
100%.
doing. Less is more. I can't say it enough. Pick and choose the right times and let him tell you when it's going to happen.
Tell him
and he told you how to kill him.
That's right. That's right. He told me how to kill 100%.
That's how
he
that
told
worked.
me how to kill, and that's how it worked. And it was just amazing that and the trail cam picture thing was a game changer.
Yeah.
Like when I saw, you're like, hey, dude, start looking back at the pictures you had, and when did you see him? Even in velvet, I mean, when did he like? What did he like? What was he favoring? And you're like, well, he kind of likes a north wind,
During
which
daylight.
kind of makes sense because on my farm the bedding is to the south of me, so he comes out with the wind in his face, and you're like, well, how am I going to hunt that? Well, you put food out there, let him come out to the food, and then make him go through the gap.
Yeah.
He did.
Yep.
And they both, I mean, every deer literally goes through the pictures I get going through that gap. I mean, we've got multiple bucks on the property, and we have cameras elsewhere. The majority of the pictures, I don't get any bucks
It's almost
elsewhere. They all come through
10x.
there.
It's almost 10x to that.
They all connect. And just like you laid it out perfectly. I want to say thank you.
No, you're welcome, bud. This has been an enjoyable ride because these conversations and those texts, that's what makes this.
This brings it home. Yeah.
This makes and again, you work your whole life doing something, and being, wildly successful at something.
Yeah.
So then it takes away your opportunity of being able to spend the time to learn all that stuff on your own. And sometimes maybe you just need a little Kickstarter to say, hey, think about this, do it like that. And all of a sudden it opened up your eyes. Here's the thing. You didn't text me. to make your decision making. You and Candy, after the consult, learned how to, digest the information given.
Yeah.
And then you did your own deal. You did this. That's you.
Well, and
I
to
might
your
have helped
point-
in the design, but
to your
that's
point-
you because you learned and you was coachable, and that's the part that matters.
And to your point,
Yeah.
and Tim can attest to this. I mean, again, I've been fishing for over 40 years, had many seminars. I've done, numerous, and teach people. And everybody's like, "Are you really going to teach people what you've learned, how you've caught these big tunas over the years?" Yeah. I mean, I'm doing the seminar for that. I'm not going to teach them something I don't want them to do. I want them to be successful.
Yes.
So, and I've had many fishing offshore seminars and mainly tuna seminars, and that's what I specialize in. And it's like you teach somebody the technique, how you catch the big fish. Whether they apply it correctly or not is
That's a different
a
story.
whole different story. And
Yep.
that's what I took away. I've learned that and again been successful at what I do from you to listen and apply it. And so I see so many guys that I teach them. I'm like, dude, have you? So what's happening? How come you're not catching those big fish? Oh, we tried that thing twice and we didn't get any bites. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna. You know what? I can only drill it into people so many times. Well, you can go back and look how many 100-pound tuna I've caught and how many 100-pound tuna you've caught. And I'm teaching you what I caught them on. Keep using that. Use that method that I've just taught you. Don't change back to what you're catching those little tunas on. So, I mean, and if they don't apply what you've taught them, it doesn't work.
Yep.
And then that's like you said. I mean, you have to apply that, and it's hard. It's hard. I mean, it's hard when you're going fishing. Oh, I want to go catch 20 tuna.
Yeah.
Well, you're in a tournament, and those 20 to 50 pounders don't really count.
Yep.
That 100 pounder
That's what you're looking for.
puts you on the board.
Yep.
Those 130 to 140, 150 pound bucks, they're okay. This is what we're after.
Yeah.
If you apply the right method, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I mean that's where the light went on, talking to you, knowing what you know. And again, 21
To 0. Still at 0. Yeah. Still at 0. But it's good.
So,
Yeah, it's good.
anyway, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
Yeah.
you're so welcome, buddy. It was a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Thank you for
Yeah, absolutely, man. So if there's one thing, I think we could wrap here. We're going to lose light. It's been awesome to have you and Candy at the house here with us, and it was just so good to do it. But for home, okay, sat at dinner with him and Mark, and he loved the moon. In this entire interview, he has not said the moon affected his hunt one time. So we take somebody who's a believer in the moon because of his fishing has taught him that you have to know what the moon's doing, and then it carried over to hunting. And we're not just trying to beat this to death. What we're trying to tell you is that thing has nothing to do with what we're doing. And you won't see it. It's a common thread.
Yep.
So, pay attention to those weather fronts, pay attention to your cameras.
In fact, not to interrupt,
Sure.
I would do that. And I think it cost me many times.
Right.
Moon's, I'm going.
Yeah.
The wind's not good, but guess what? I'm
moon's-
going because the moon's perfect. Supposedly, this is it. This
Yeah.
is when it's going to go down.
Well, and
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense for a fisherman, because of the tides. It creates movement and bait
Yeah.
fish and so on and so forth.
100%.
And you could break it down in an analytical fashion that I could never understand because of your 40 plus years of expertise there. You forgot more than most people are ever going to even know as far as that side of things. But it's crazy. But in my mind, the moon affecting the fishing makes perfect sense because it creates movement through bait fish, pasture,
Right.
whatever. Now, on the flip side, a rock several 100,000 miles away that deer, when it's 92 degrees and humidity's high and, whatever, it's 25-mile-an-hour winds with gusts to 40, just because it's the moon's directly below feet or overhead, he don't, oh, crap, I got to jump up and go running off to a food plot. That's, if you think about it, I mean, let's just break it down. Let's be commonsensical about it. Does that make any sense? And any common sense in any way? Not at all. It weighs no factor in my go or not go in any possible way. It does not weigh. And either one of those deer, because and unfortunately we're not time constrained, but Candy's situation was awesome. So you ended up shooting that deer, and then you guys celebrated, regrouped, and guess what? Split G210 still around. Yep. And we're like, oh, wait a second, here's the cold front. I get text, hey, we're thinking about going on this day. And I believe I was texting with Candy, and she said Monday or whatever, and I'm like, nope, Tuesday's the day for you. Yep. Or whatever day it was. Whether it was Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever the day was. I can't remember. But the moral of the story was that she's like, okay. So then waited for that day, went in. I get a text, smashed him. And I waited a couple of minutes. I couldn't take it anymore. I called her, and she's crying. It was the most awesome experience ever. And that is worth everything.
And again,
to me.
Like you said, and third sit in the blind. It probably would have been the second sit if it wasn't for that coyote the night before.
Yep.
And just taking advantage of the weather, ingress and egress, and waiting for them to tell you what to do.
Yep. Yeah, and again, in closing, we're not trying to overcomplicate things. We're trying to KISS. Keep it simple, right? That's what they taught me in the military. Keep it simple. Stupid was the other S, and I was stupid because I'm still at 0. So the long story short is that, when we do all these things, we talk about this, and then we do all this for you guys at home and the listeners. We are giving you the one thing that nobody in this world can give you. Nobody can give you more time with your family. No one. I'm living proof of it. And if you can learn some of these tactics and spend less time in the woods on spending the best days in the woods on those quality days and making them count, you have more time to take care of your wife's honey-do list. I'm sure Ed has plenty of free time now to get any project Candy has ready to go. You're welcome for that. I'm still at 0. You're right. I'm still at 0. Yep. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Candy, for coming out to the farm. Thank you guys for having you here at the house. Thank you for listening to Lessons from the Woodlot. Remember, like and subscribe on YouTube. As Mark says, smash it, winfarm.com, and you guys get a free farm. So win my money, win Mark's money. We don't care. We want someone to win it. Thank you. See you next week.
Have a good one.